We know what time it is, don't we, companions? It's time for season 3, episode 1 of The Wheel of Time. And I am pumped. I'm pumped. Uh, if you're new here, my name's Kevin. Uh, this is The 100 Companions, where we're watching The Wheel of Time. I am a big time book fanatic. I love these books. I've read them dozens of times and listened to the audiobooks a handful more times. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Probably no, definitely my all-time favorite book series. There's really no other series that ranks up there with it when I am honest. But yeah, just I love this series. And as a side note, I also love this show, even though, it is different. But that's, as I've said a million times, that's what we should have expected. That's what the word adaptation means. Uh, so here we are. That's all the horses right out the gate, right? I'm not sure. I didn't really think too much about what to say before the show. Obviously, this is right off the top of my head. I'm just really excited to start the show. So it's Friday right now. I couldn't do all the recording and stuff on Thursday. It's just between Thursday night and Friday morning, my schedule this week was just too much. So anyway, here we are. Um, I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to watch all three and then do the editing, or if I'm going to watch one and then edit it. And I don't. I'm not exactly sure. I guess I'm gonna have to see how hyped I am. Um, but yeah, in the interest of getting something out, I'm hoping I can just watch one episode and then maybe edit it and drop it real quick so that you guys get something for sure this weekend. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. So, again, I don't have too much to do tomorrow. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see all three. um, because yeah, I enjoy this show. Now I'm a little regretful that they're releasing 3 episodes at one time, personally, because I like the week to week flavor of a show that excites me like this. And I also feel like, this show probably needs to build its fan base a little more.
As long as we don't look desperate. We want them to think we'll take their help, but we don't need it. I should be seen a lot at the club.
Yeah, our backs are against the wall, and it's just hard to accept that it's really come to begging.
Sometimes it's the only way to stay in the game.
Please tell your friends about this show.
So by dropping 3 at one time, you give people less time to talk about it and to get other people talking about it. And but whatever, it's I don't totally understand the logic behind that, but maybe I will once I watch the first 3 episodes. But at that point, we'll be like halfway through the season almost. So, that's a little bittersweet, but it is what it is, right? And I know I want to watch them, so I'm just going to have to record them as is. Now, is there anything else I want to get to? No. No, there's nothing else I need to get to. I just need to go ahead and start the show. Can I go ahead and start the show? Let's go ahead and start the show. See, now this is where it's like, okay, well, we've all seen this part now, but, well.
Mother has deemed this a sitting seal to the hall.
We know I love that sound.
I know what most women in this hall do not. That you, Leandrin Garare, can break the 3 oaths. You have sworn yourself to the shadow. You are a dark friend.
But this is mad.
So the thing some people get wrong about Aes Sedai and lies, though, sometimes, is that an Aes Sedai can say something if they think it's true, even if they're wrong. So Aes Sedai can say things that are lies, but only if they believe them. Oh my god. Oh my god, I forgot about that part. I mean, like I said, it happens very differently in the books, but tell me this isn't cool as hell. I mean, I love watching them use air as a blade like that. That's so cool.
Mother has asked us to protect these objects,
Okay, well, here comes the thing I missed.
no matter who or what comes for them.
Yeah, it's just, wow, it's just so big.
Oh, fair and fine.
Wait, were those dice? Interesting.
Finally.
Okay, here we go. There's the Western music.
You will not leave the city alive.
Yeah, like your warders really are not a lot of help here. What? I forgot. Aes Sedai seem to be a little squishier in this universe. No way. Man, these Aes Sedai are savage. I'm still wondering if those brands on his face are going to be like their version of sea folk tattoos. If maybe he's sea folk. Nice work, Moraine. Certainly not the most expensive CGI I've ever seen, but did I really think it was real? No. Was I ever going to really think it was real? No. Was that 3 dead Aes Sedai?
Should have been in that hall with you.
It was a good intro, that intro they were doing. I'm sure we'll see it eventually.
We were already running from the
Oh, so they're all in Tarvalon?
and now the Black Aja. Who knows how many of them?
Dangerous.
What now? Calendor.
He's speaking the old tongue.
That sword can, what, kill Forsaken? Defeat the Dark One?
You know what prophecy is
Did he
about?
do that on purpose?
Nothing's clear. Look,
Or was that an accident?
no one's had.
And after what happened today, I don't want any of you near another Aes Sedai. We sail for Tyr at dawn.
God, I love these Aiel.
Where are you going?
Oh, they look so badass, and they should, because they are.
Why does he always want to leave at dawn? Why not after a hearty breakfast?
I feel like they've tweaked Loyal a little bit. Not that I ever had a problem, but he looks great. In any game where I have the option, I give myself yellow or gold eyes, because, yeah, Perrin.
Then, as your Korrigan, I command you, stay here.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
You have not earned that title. Or the right to lead us. You haven't faced the trial of Ruidian. I have been measuring the kind of man you are. Hundreds of thousands of our people have been waiting for the Karakarn's arrival.
Guys, we're watching Avienda and Rand
It might
talk.
be you, whatever your
I'm-
blood, your face, your hair.
I'm
You have
getting,
no feeling for us.
I'm getting
You are
teary.
with
There's no
us
reason.
through and through.
When Rand and I are together, it's like we're back home and nothing's changed. I'm trying to forget. And I think I'm alright, but then
No forgetting being a slave.
every night I see her in my dreams.
Well, it's a good thing you killed her, Egwene. It's a damn good thing you killed her. He's walking around with the Horn of Valir in Tar Valon.
You've got to be kidding me. Yes, that's me, Matt Cawthon, Hornblower, hero of the ages. So, in the spirit of normality,
Well, he's being nice to Rand at least.
back on, is it?
We haven't really talked about it.
It's been a month. Yeah, I mean, what's there to talk about? He's never even kissed another girl, so why bother pretending that it's anything but what's written in the pattern? Hang on, what's this? What is this? Have you kissed another girl? Or more? Not Avienda. No, the only people who she smiles at are Elaine.
No, he's slept with one of the Forsaken.
It's kind of my girlfriend.
Her? A toast. The three lads from a small mountain village. May we all halubitana basho tuhabuta an kalbukol.
Okay, it's on accident.
Ah shit, I did it again, didn't I? Cheers, whatever.
But it's from the Horn.
You're not getting away with
They're having fun. It makes me suspicious. Who dat? Oh, it's her. I know who that is. I take it back.
what you're doing. All these people looking to you, asking what's next.
Oh, look what they're playing.
You don't give yourself enough credit.
You don't give yourself enough.
Playing snakes and foxes, huh?
See, you guys, yes. I don't know what the wheel will bring, but I know you'll make the right choice.
That's pretty Perrin.
Why are you leaving?
You do know that he's not going to go to Tyr.
I'm surprised you want him to. He killed a Shamael, even without Kalendor.
She was a
Okay, so they're not removing Tyr. I like that. That's good.
couldn't care less if Rand joins the shadow or breaks the wheel. They just
But it looks like they're gonna maybe play with the order of operations.
rest assured they will.
He told me you've been coming to him since Farn, in his dreams. That you're pushing him for the same thing I am. To go to Tyr, to get Kalendor. I think it's part of the reason he doesn't want to.
No, the reason he doesn't want to are these friends of his. They tie him to the boy who used to be, not the man he must become. And much like I know the other chosen, you know these kids.
Interesting.
You know what
This
makes them hurt.
choosing to have a Lanfear Moraine relationship is interesting.
I will hurt them. Go to the tower, though, and get your Malkiri blade. If I'm wrong, we kill her.
Is Malkiri blade like he doesn't carry it all the time?
She hates the rest of us. Rand told us what you tried to do to him. I'm not going back to your tower.
I mean, I don't know what's up with it, but that outfit that Egwene has on is fire.
Even if I regret them in part. But now the Black Arja have attacked.
I mean, you know, she wears dresses and stuff in the books, but like, how badass is that?
I'll go back to your tower on one condition. I go through the arches. Today.
No, oh wow. Wow. Okay.
Oh, look. It's like a little puppy, all happy and everything.
Not even the one power will be
This is how we're gonna get everything done this season, huh? We're just moving at light speed.
Be steadfast. The way back comes but once.
Alviane. Liana. Join with me, sister.
That's Alviarin? I mean, she is supposed to be here for this.
Have you been watching me this whole time? The Karakarn has no use of me. And this wetland city is not safe. I can look after myself.
Do you want me to go?
I'm going to make something for my last night of freedom. It may not be Usquai, but I'll try my best. I mean...
Careful, Elena of House Drakand. You already have the look of an Aiel. May be taken for one.
Stone of Tyr will never fall, till Kalendor is wielded by the dragon's hand. The Stone of Tyr will never fall, till the people of the dragon come.
Who are the people of the dragon?
Reading the prophecies in the old tongue.
Sadly long lost.
Well, it says here that under Tyrant law, whoever takes the Stone of Tyr becomes the rightful ruler of the country, so that means...
It will be the first nation you conquer, but not the last. Apologies, Builder. May I have a word with Rand? You've sent a letter. Rand. Having power means accepting that any decision which helps some will hurt others.
I'm so not objective about this, guys. Just just seeing these characters talk to each other.
Andor will always be a friend to the Dragon Reborn. So will I.
You're sure he's gone?
The madness has him. He killed Perrin and Matt. I saw it.
Him?
Rand!
He's in his red heron coat.
Finally got what you wanted. You're just in time to do the thing you should have done a long, long time ago. Bow to me!
Steel yourself, sisters.
Well done, child.
Woof. Yeah.
No one has taken it in 3,000 years.
The Forsaken haven't been free.
If they could, why haven't they yet? They could be waiting there for me to take it. Could be walking into a trap.
So what do you want to do then?
Reasonable fear.
You want...
You are Egwene Alvear, accepted of the White Tower. You are sealed to us now.
Oh, we only got to see the one.
Where are you going?
I have the ring. I'm an accepted now. So you can't keep me here.
What you have is a duty to the tower and the seat.
This tower is destroying itself from the inside out. My duty is to the light, not you.
Okay, again, not really how it works in the books, but if that's how they want to be able to explain this plot device, it's fine.
It was my father's. His father's before him.
I mean,
You've never used it before.
I've never taught worthy. I'm no king.
This sword is power wrought, created with one power itself. Like Rand's Heron Mark blade.
She killed Ishamael.
so power rod blades are all right.
Tonight's the last fun I'll have for months.
Now we were actually just about to start a new game.
Do you want to play an Aiel game? It's called Maiden's Kiss.
Yes, that sounds like a game that we should definitely play.
Let me ready my quill and notebook.
What do you do?
Now we kiss. If it's good, the spears move back. If it's bad, you can play too.
Thought I'd find you up here. You'd always sleep on the deck of the boat.
You've been watching me this whole time.
I'm getting a vibe here.
Avienda.
Okay. I correctly interpreted that vibe. Oh my god. I'm just like, the head's exploding. I am really working. And they're still together. I wonder. No, that's not how that works either. Oh man, that hurts.
Forget what's real. What's important?
Did they fake us out again with this part?
I was there. Was not.
No, not you. Not exactly.
Dragon, then.
Is she still in the arches?
I'm not afraid of you, Ran.
I think I'm not talking enough. I'm pretty sucked in. But, oh, who is that?
What happened to you?
He got some cuts on his neck.
This gentleman never tells.
Oh, that's good.
I'm still your wisdom. Tell me the truth.
It's just since I blew the horn that I have all these memories. And
Okay.
They just keep running in my head at 100 miles an hour, and that's why I can't sleep. It's because every time that it's quiet, I can hear. I can hear.
Close your eyes. Close them.
I thought that might be how he got his memories.
Pain, it's people screaming and sobbing. And they are dying over and over again.
I was not paying attention, but I think those were Heroes of the Horn on those cards, weren't they? His cards are moving. Oh my god, of all the scenes to pick to do.
Seeing what?
Egwene, run! Egwene, run!
So they're gonna blame this on one of the Forsaken, huh? Oh!
Matt, something's wrong. Matt!
Is that Aganor? What is Moraine doing? So what, Lan's gonna charge out there even though Moraine doesn't want him to. Oh, interesting. She's been stabbed like 15 times. That was cool. Oh, is that a gray man? That would explain why he was stabbing her instead of using the power if it were Agenor.
Spitfire, axe, mirrors, cards. I played my part brilliantly.
No one was to be harmed.
Nothing a little healing couldn't take care of. You wanted it to be convincing.
One was killed, but
I didn't touch her.
she was stabbed 11 times.
By whom?
An assassin. Grey eyes, blackened fingers. He walked right through the inn without anyone seeing him.
The Gray Man.
Grey man.
Moraine would know what a Gray Man is, though. So that was a Gray Man sent by a different Forsaken.
You'll stay at the tower too?
I told you I'm not going anywhere.
They won't stop coming for me.
Let them try.
Everything's ready for your journey home.
Then let's go, before the day's lost. We're coming with you. You saved my life, Builder. I owe you to.
I go where she goes.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Sometimes you gotta cut a corner.
Lost.
Very pretty sounding stringed instrument, whatever that is.
A ring worn by many of the most powerful women.
His mother's ring.
I would want no other woman as my queen in any life we might have lived.
I mean, an asshole. This is sweet. I guess it's his dad's ring in the books. You know.
May our paths meet again. Elaine Tracom. I'd like that.
Okay. Okay, I think I might know what's happening there. But I can't talk about it without spoilers. Yeah, I mean, you know, some of this, like, steampunky stuff, it's, like, it's not strictly, like, the book, but I love it. It looks really cool. All these women in jackets and stuff, like, it's much more traditional in the book so far as women are usually in dresses and stuff, but, like, it does change up eventually.
You are the Karakar, and whether you or I like it, my duty is to
Let's just say it's a little early.
We're going to the Eye Waste.
Okay. I mean, we'd figured that out already, but... Ooh, Moghedian.
Do you want to be Grey, Jaitu?
She's making gray men.
Do you want to be Grey, Jaitu?
All right. So, episode 1 down. That was interesting. We got some of the stuff we were really excited to see, like Egwene's test. And again, I'm just gonna underline this because it's obviously been hard for me to swallow, but like 100% not how being an accepted works, but whatever. It's novices aren't even allowed to leave the tower, right? And if they do, the Aes Sedai will like come and find them and bring them back to the tower. okay? And then you get to become an accepted. And when you're an accepted, it means you get to do more choosing what you study and stuff like that. And you're allowed to leave the tower to go other places in Tar Valon. But you're not allowed to leave the city. No, it basically doesn't happen. Now, we know of exceptions from the books. But again, it's, according to the rules, novices and accepted do not leave Tar Valon. So getting your ring, you do get it when you are an accepted, but it doesn't give you, you're not an Aes Sedai, you're not Egwene Sedai, so maybe, Rand could have just been joking in that moment. We'll see. But like an accepted claiming to be Aes Sedai is like, you do not do that. You don't do it. It's bad news. But yeah, so anyway, that's just, again, that's the books. So if they've decided to change that in the show, that's just why that was kind of hard for me to swallow. Avienda and Elaine getting involved like that, I saw it coming, and pseudo disbelieved it because it's just so far from what happens in the books. But I think by the end, I think I've worked out why that happened. But I would have to save any explanation for spoiler chat time because, yeah, it's just, I'd have to give away major things that are nowhere near happening yet in order to discuss it. So again, my immediate disbelief of the scene, first off, it certainly wasn't, like, oh, I have a problem with gay scene things. That's definitely not the problem. I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby when I watched that episode of The Last of Us. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, anyway, it's just they're making character choices that are catching me off guard, because to jump around in the storyline like they're doing, people need to feel a certain way about other people on a timeline that is quicker than the books, because yeah, again, the books are so long. Yeah, so I thought it was a good episode. I could definitely see why they released 2 episodes at least now, because, that was a good episode. It was a good starter, but it kind of was a lot of catch up. It was a lot of like, what are the effects of the last episode of the last season on our characters, on our main characters? So like, we can tell Matt's having memory issues. It seems like he has vague recollections of the past, and also he's speaking the old tongue without meaning to. And yeah, that's right on track. And Egwene's dealing with some really serious PTSD. Makes perfect sense. And again, I don't want to do too much like, oh, this X, Y, and Z are all different than they are in the books, because really so much of this is different from how it is in the books at this point that it's a little bit ridiculous to get into that. But it's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. I'm trying to think of more important. It sort of looked like Loial broke Perrin's axe, which we all know how attached I am to the idea of Perrin carrying that axe. So maybe it wasn't Perrin's axe. Maybe it was just a random axe that for some reason was sitting in the middle of their room. But yeah, or I guess he could pick up a different axe, but it's just part of it. I don't feel like it's any spoiler to say that axe for Perrin is like, it's a representation of the violent side of himself, which is a side of himself he does not love. He does not want to be violent. But he is capable of violence, and that scares him. And so that, he carries an axe in the books and he hates it. Like, he actively hates the axe, like it's another character. So that's why I'm so obsessed with this axe, because it is to me, it's a big part of my favorite character. But I guess it's not really the most important thing in the world, is it? There are more important things for Perrin that I know are gonna show up in this season. I'm so bad with actor names. The guy playing Rand, he did a great job with the Mad Rand scene where he was screaming. That was creepy, that was though just the three of them versus him might not go great. Those are three of the strongest female channelers in the world. I don't think it's any sort of spoiler for me to say that. It would make sense that our main characters are powerful, right? But Rand is like a magnitude above anyone. Like, the amount of the power he can wield is gargantuan. Is there anything else for non-spoiler chat while we're at it? No. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to do spoiler chat, because I really, really, really want to get to more. I want to watch the next episode. Like I said, this episode was a lot of background info, getting us caught up on why we are where we are, what we're doing next. I feel like episode 2 is probably where it really starts to ramp up, and then episode 3 is probably where it gets cranking, and that's why they released all 3. But I shouldn't be complaining, because like I said, I want to watch all 3 this weekend. So it is what it is. Oh, okay. Something I'm not sure how I feel about the whole. I mean, I know exactly what they're trying to do. They're making Moiraine questionable still, which is, there's an element of that in the books. But that, and again, this is now that I think about it, it makes more and more sense, because in the books, the chapters are all written from a particular character's perspective. So Moiraine is especially scary from, say, Rand's perspective, or Perrin or Matt's perspective. They're all pretty scared of Moiraine. She's still like this big scary Aes Sedai, and they're just farm boys who have gotten caught up in stuff that's way over their heads, and they don't know what the hell's going on, and they really kind of want to go home, and Matt really just wants to like run around and gamble, and but they're all they're sort of stuck in this situation. And so yeah, it's easy to see why, when you're seeing things from their perspective, it's easy to maintain that questionable nature to Moiraine. You always have to doubt Moiraine, because the characters whose perspectives you're reading doubt Moiraine. And so how are you going to show this in this show? Either you can have Rand be like, I don't trust you, Moiraine, and say it straight out, and then you have to have all the characters do that, which like they kind of did in season 1. And people, I remember watching other reactions, and people were like, why are they being such a dick to her? And it's like, well, they don't trust her, because Aes Sedai are like very powerful, but they also, when it comes to country people who have no real experience with them, they're sort of like witches. Like, you just know to be scared of them. They're crazy powerful. They could like wrap you around their finger and make you do whatever the hell you want, even if you don't want to do it. That's like how country people feel about Aes Sedai. So they heavily distrust her. So I think that making Moiraine be so questionable in that moment was meant to, remind us that maybe she's questionable. Again, you have to think about like, well, what kind of storytelling reason would they have for making this change? And usually you can think of one if you just give it a minute. But in the moment, I was not coming up with one. And obviously I also wildly mistook what was happening in the scene, because I thought the gray man was Agenor. And yeah, so yeah, I'm just not But yeah, I got there. I understood. I eventually figured out it was a gray man. Oh, jeez. I don't even remember exactly where I was. My dogs start barking sometimes. So yeah, I think that was meant to, inspire us to have questions about Moiraine's ultimate goals. And again, I mean, maybe I should have questions about Moiraine's ultimate goals, because this is diverging more and more from the books. I'm going to be caught off guard more and more, I think, in the run of this show. So, with that, I guess this will probably be the last of the commentary before we get into spoiler talk. And we're going to do a little spoiler talk, I guess, but probably not much. I don't know how much I really have to talk about spoilery-wise. But if you have not read the books and you are worried about hearing spoilers, I would drop out now. And I will see you next time. Thanks for checking out the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode too. See you then. Everybody else. So, the obvious thing to talk about is Elaine and Avian. That's the obvious thing to talk about, right? I don't think I'm being weird by saying that, right? Because, yeah, they're supposed to be becoming good friends at this point. And boy, they really cranked it up a level. In the very first scene they had, I was thinking in my head, I was like, there's a lot of sexual energy in this conversation. Like pent-up sexual energy in this. Am I just getting to be a creepy old man? I don't know. It feels like this is a pent-up sexual but yeah, that's absolutely what it was. I've heard some people call the Wheel of Time books pretty horny, and boy, this show is living up to that, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, the obvious question is why have the two of them do that? And it's just to be like, let's be real, the people making this show are probably uncomfortable with and again, if you have not read the books, you probably want to leave now. But the people making this show are not comfortable. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this is just set up for it, like they think it somehow makes it make more sense. But I'm beginning to get the feeling that they're not comfortable with Rand having multiple wives. And yeah, that's fascinating, because I just don't know why you would even choose to do this show if you were going to change something like that. Maybe I would need to sit on it longer, because off the top of my head, can I think of a specific reason why Rand needs to have multiple wives? Maybe not. Maybe I can't. But I'm sure if I sat with it long enough, I could come up with reasons why. But, I mean, other than, just because that's how it happens in the books. And I've seen some people who, read the books and then talk about it on YouTube, for example. And I've watched some of those people's videos. And, I've seen people basically accuse Robert Jordan of kind of being a creepy old man who just wanted to live out his own fantasies through these characters, so far as having multiple wives and stuff like that. But I do think that's a bit of a mischaracterization of the whole situation. Because again, this entire world works in a very different way than we're used to, so far as it is essentially a matriarchal universe. There are still kings, there are still, men still have pretty prominent roles in the vast majority of societies in the Wheel of Time. But there are also some really specifically female dominated societies, so far as like societies that only have queens. They do not have kings, though there are still, there's all sorts of men in power in most of those governments. And then there are also a few societies in the Wheel of Time that are like explicitly matriarchal, insofar as women take the position that men do in a fairly traditional environment, or in a traditional society, so far as like our history goes. So like women are in charge. They hold all the jobs with power and authority in the government and in, economics and all that. And men are like supposed to be pretty and keep the house clean, and what. There are a few societies like that in the Wheel of Time world. And the most powerful force in the world is the White Tower, which is all women. So this is an extremely woman-dominated world. And I think a lot of people mischaracterize that when they read the books, especially as kids, because they're, when they're reading it as a child, they're not reading it to look at it from like a sociological standpoint. But if you're reading the books as an adult, these are things you're going to notice, because they are so different from, reality as you have experienced it. And so, nope. Oh, sorry. So one of you guys liked my comment on your comment, and that distracted me for a second. Yeah. Oh shit, where was I in that point? Oh, so yeah, so the whole top-down structure is just significantly different. Men aren't quite as in control of all the power in this world as they are in our world. That's just how it is, guys. If you want to argue with me about it, you can put them in the comments, and I'll make it so nobody can see them. But it's just, we're not here to argue this reality. I live in this reality. I know what it's like. And men have pretty much all the power. And the Wheel of Time society is just not quite like that. And that's because Robert Jordan wanted it to be that way. And them's the facts. But yeah, so maybe they're less comfortable with the whole multiple wives thing. I'm going to be interested when we get to Aiel country to see if people still have sister wives and all that. It would be an enormous change to make it so that they did not exist. But they could always do it so that, Rand doesn't end up having multiple wives. They could run the series that way if they wanted to. It would be a huge change. Book readers would hate it, but they could do that. That's their choice. To be more explicit, like maybe they're uncomfortable with polygamy, or they think the audience would be uncomfortable with polygamy, but they think the audience might be more receptive to polyamory. So if we make it clear that this is a throuple or a quadruple, I don't even know the word for that. I'm sure it exists, and one of you can tell me what it is. But yeah, that I think maybe they figure that has a better taste than polyamory, because then people are gonna be all like, Mormons, and it's got a kind of bad connotation, polygamy, but polyamory, again, apparently, I guess we're that is funny. Sorry guys, I'm geeking myself out. Everybody's like, polygamy is weird. But we're getting kind of okay with polyamory. I don't have any problem with that. That's just hilarious. That's good shit. So yeah, I think that might be what the people at Amazon are thinking. I think they might just think that, you know, if they introduce the multi-person relationship, starting from the women's side, it'll feel less ooey. Less people will go, that's disgusting. Though some other people are going to go, that's disgusting because of this. So it's interesting. You know, you've kind of chosen to maybe lean towards the non-book reader, modern watcher with this decision, and just said, you know, if the book readers want to be mad about it, they were probably already mad about this show, so screw those people anyways. Which is fair. You know, you can't be like, I hate your shit, and then expect them to change it for you. Yeah. I don't, yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm so geeked out by that. I'm just me having this realization in real time is just too funny. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. I think they're they might be a little creeped out by polygamy, and they're a little more comfortable with polyamory. But again, the Aiel should make it explicit whether or not we're looking at a polygamous or polyamorous situation, or both. I guess, couldn't it be both? I mean, as long as all parties have consented and whatever nominally, couldn't it be both? Because that's what, you know, polygamists would argue in our reality. It's just that most of the time when the community is polygamous, it's often pretty obvious who's in control, and it's usually the men. Yeah, that's just, again, we have eyes, friends. Not always. That's obviously, there's going to be other situations, and also there are large parts of the world where historically polygamy was normal, and you know, it was something that people were comfortable with and just did for a very long time. So I'm not trying to be, you know, and I'm not going to say Western centric, because again, there were certainly places in the West where men took multiple wives. It was just kind of a man thing, wasn't it? It's just kind of a man thing, wasn't it? And not in a good way, not in like a man thing kind of way. No, it was just kind of like a men were kind of shitty in that way sort of thing, right? Explicitly men. I studied history in school, by the way, guys, if you didn't know. So yeah. Is there anything else in spoiler chat I want to talk about? It was mostly that, I think. Is there anything else that really needs to be dug into? I mean, I think Matt's memory things are pretty normal. Oh, the cards. I thought they were about to really go for it with the cards. I thought they were about to come up out of the cards and attack Matt, and he was going to have to kill those card characters. And I was like, bold, because I've explicitly, when I was rereading the book recently, I was thinking about this series, or about, you know, when they were releasing the series, and I was like, no way they're going to have the balls to do this scene, because I don't know how you would make it look good. I don't know how you would make it, but for a second there I really thought they were going to do it. But I liked how they did that, you know. It was just sort of an illusion. But I hope we haven't removed Bubbles of Evil from the series. Maybe they've decided that's an extra complication they don't need. Maybe this is just one that they're co-opting as an attack by Lanfear, just for story's sake at this point, to move things forward, to explain why they're about to all go in different directions. That might be the reasoning. But yeah, the Bubbles of Evil I think are really cool, and it's a really cool concept, and it only takes a little bit of explanation. And then it's just something that happens in the show, and you wouldn't be confused when you see one, because you've had it explained to you that this is a bubble of evil. And as the show as the books go on, again, we're all book readers here. Those bubbles of evil get really freaking cool. I mean, those are some of the like most dynamite scenes in the books, and they're scary, and the concept is scary. The fact that they can just happen anywhere, that it doesn't just happen to Rand and the other ta'veren, it happens all over the world, you know, like villages get swallowed up and disappear overnight. Like it's end time shit. So, and it's a big part of the lead up to the last battle too. So I'm probably reading too much into the idea that they might have removed them entirely, but that is a really cool first example, and we do get the concept explained to us at that point. But it's made clear to us here that that was not a bubble of evil. That was Lanfear. That was an attack by the Forsaken. So yeah, I'm just saying I hope they aren't gone. That's all. Not going to ruin the show for me if they are, but it's just a cool concept, and I certainly wouldn't have removed it. But again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I was not asked to direct this show, unfortunately. Nobody even sent me an email. I checked. I went through my emails. I didn't get any emails from Amazon asking if I would like to helm this show or if I would like to write for this show. None of it. Rude, right? But they didn't hit me up. So I'm just enjoying what they have given us. And I am thinking back on, you know, I almost cried just because I was watching Elaine and Rand talk to each other. Like, I'm not an objective observer here. I love these books. I love them so much that I love this show, even if it's not as good as I think it is. I don't... If it makes me feel the feelings, what do you want from me? I can't change how the show is making me feel. I guess I could have a stick up my butt, and every time something changes from the books, I could go, well, that sucks. But, like, then why am I here? Why am I 3 seasons deep in a show that I hate? That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. That's an insane person's behavior. It's infuriating. Do you see how upset I am now? Just let people enjoy things. That's going to be our lesson for the day. I'm happy that I got this episode, even though there was obviously some stuff. I think when I go back and review the tape, it's going to be clear that some of this stuff blew my brain off. But, you know, I'm already getting over it in just talking through it right now with myself. I mean, with you guys, right? With you guys. But with myself. But there are at least 4 voices in here. But we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. That's episode 1. Now I need to decide whether I'm going to immediately watch episode 2 or edit this. I'm going to go watch episode 2, and then I'll come back and I'll edit this.
He didn't.
And it should be up by Saturday morning. That's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to do it. That's your 100 Companions pseudo guarantee. The pseudo guarantee. The best you can hope for. And we'll see you next time, guys.